Oh, what a morning! Bombshell. And I could actually say bombshell report because pager bombs and walkie-talkie bombs are blowing up all over Syria and Lebanon. These appear to be pagers and walkie-talkies purchased in bulk by Hezbollah. Now, mainstream, I've been covering this since early this morning. I actually did a video this morning, but my audio wasn't very good, so I since deleted it. And I'm glad I did because whereas yesterday between 3:45 p.m. and 4:45 p.m., pagers went off, and not like went off as in like, hey, you have an incoming message, as in blew up. So a message was sent to these pagers, and when if the pager was on and the message was received, it would then blow up, which is diabolical. It's a diabolical plan by Israel, by Mossad. And I'm actually going to reference some other operations that our own CIA and Mossad have carried out. This isn't the first time we've seen something like this, but it is on a massive scale this is a huge scale. We're talking like 3,000 people injured yesterday, and it looks like today another couple of thousand were injured, at least a couple of hundred. I saw reports that 18 people died yesterday, and I think 2 have been killed by this walkie-talkie. Now, the walkie-talkie news is all just breaking news, and Israel is not taking here. Let me pull this up for you really quick. Israel is not taking responsibility for it. However, the Indian Times of India, with 4 million subscribers, I like to use different news sources from around the globe because it lets you show the difference. I learned this during covering the Ukraine stuff, was that Al Jazeera and Indian Times and Sky News would, or even Israeli Times, would report completely different, almost the exact opposite of what American news was putting out. And we saw this during COVID as well. So when you start putting out both sides of the story or different sides of the story, somebody's lying when it's completely opposite. So I like to just to put it out there. Now, 4 million people feel like this is newsworthy enough news, like this is trustable enough news that 4 million people subscribe to it. But already, and this was as of yesterday, the Indian Times was putting out the devices had been modified by Israeli spy services at the production level. So already India Times, with 4 million subscribers on YouTube alone, putting the blame on Israel. Here it said the Mossad injected a board inside of the device that is exposed to material that receives a code. This is from Israeli news sources this morning. Y News, new attack across Lebanon, 9 killed and at least 300 injured. Fires in houses and in cars, all due to handheld walkie-talkies, which is pretty crazy. Now, Israel is not taking the blame as of yet for this, but everybody else is kind of saying, yeah, it looks more and less like it's you. Here's a screenshot from our local news source really quick. I always like to bring receipts. That's what this is. It's all transparent news. This is from NBC. It says Israel has not claimed responsibility. By the way, this article was about an hour ago. Israel has not claimed responsibility for the operation, but Hezbollah laid the blame squarely on its adversary, and 2 U.S. officials told NBC News that Israel was behind the attack. I went back and just really quick. This is really quick breaking news, so I don't want to spend a lot of time here. I'll probably put some updates, but this is just to give you key talking points today. This was from February 18th of 2024. I went back in time. This is from Ynet News, which is, again, it's a news source out of Israel. But you can see where it says Hezbollah chief. Now, it's back in February. Hezbollah chief orders cell phone blackout amid IDF precision strikes. As tensions on the Israeli-Lebanese border continue to simmer, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah recent focus is on IDF-targeted strikes in southern Lebanon and his concern over the use of cell phones by group members, which are being monitored by Israel, according to a report. Now, here's another. This is from Tehran Times. From the Tehran Times, it says a few days ago, Saeed Nasser warned the Israel intelligence is exploding mobile phones to gather sensitive information. Again, this is back from February as well. I pulled both of these from February. So I went back in the old Google Web's archives and pulled this out. So it's saying a few days ago, but this would have been back in February, Saeed Hassan Nasrallah warned the Israel intelligence is exploding mobile phones to gather sensitive information as the regime presses ahead with its war in Gaza, the attacks in southern Lebanon. This is a quote from him, and I did listen to this speech. I call on you to do away with your cell phones during this period because it is a deadly agent. Nasrallah also urged shops and residents in the South to turn off any surveillance cameras connected to the internet. His recommendations are amid at thwarting Israel's assassination plots, which not only target resistant leaders, but also civilians. The Israeli military claims that cell phone data is pivotal tool to gauge a civilian presence and adjust military action. The regime, however, justifies its deliberate deadly attacks on civilian targets under the pretext of hitting the position of resistance forces. Yaha Ayasha, a senior Hamas field commander, was one of the first victims of the Israeli military strategy of using cell phone data. He was killed in Gaza in 1996 when his cell phone exploded during his weekly cell phone call to his father. Also, if you go back to Operation Northwood, which if you go into the show notes here, every single news source that I pulled today, the link will be in the news, but I'm in the notes. But I'm also going to put this Operation Northwood, which was our own CIA using plots against Fidel Castro or ideas to kill Fidel Castro, ideas like putting ornate seashells in his favorite diving sites that would elicit his curiosity. And when he pick up these seashells, they would explode underwater. There were other plans in there to use exploding cigar to blow him up by he puts the cigar in his mouth, he bites down on it, it explodes. There was other things like spraying LSD in the area so that when he went on the news, he would appear to be crazy and he'd be a lunatic. And I think Operation Northwoods, which the big part of it, it's a 15-page document. Page 8 and 9 of that really detail domestic terrorism created by our own government on its own people, killing innocent civilians to make the American people want to go to war with Cuba. And JFK ultimately said, absolutely not. And I'm going to scatter these 3-letter agencies to the 4 winds because you guys are diabolical. You guys are evil. These are insane things that you would kill your own American people to make us go to war with Cuba. This is ridiculous. 10 weeks later, JFK was assassinated. So I think that Operation Northwoods is one of the most important declassified pieces of information that we've received in the last decade. And so I'm going to put a link to the PDF of Operation Northwoods. I encourage you to read, at least read pages 8 and 9 of the 15-page document. I think you should read the whole document. But if you're lazy and you just want quick information, scroll down there. But there you can have, and I'll put the BBC article under there as well that talks about the 637 different ways that the CIA briefed the Department of Defense on how to kill Castro. Some of them, most of them using poisons and explosives. So the Mossad or the CIA using explosive devices and pagers, not so far-fetched, but again, just insane. Let me show you one quick video of what it kind of looks like when one of these pagers go off. Now, I pulled the least offensive video, one that I know that YouTube won't pull down, but I want to give you, the viewer, just kind of a glimpse of what happens here. You can hear the the pager vibrate and then explode. Check this out. Here's another replay. Oh, good heavens. And this happened to almost 3,000 supporters. Now, here's what we know. The Taiwanese company Gold Apollo is who sent the 3,000 pagers to Hezbollah. The Gold Apollo company is saying that they didn't have anything to do with this and that they're embarrassed by this, but it's somehow at some point these were seized, and then an explosive was hidden inside the lithium battery compartment, remotely detonated by a message. We don't know who that message is from right yet. I have reports of 18 killed, 3,000 injured, but those numbers are all in the vicinity. Some say 12. I saw 13. I saw 17. I saw 18. So 20s of people were killed yesterday, and then another couple were killed today in this walkie-talkie attack. What else do you want to know about this? The Israeli Times is also putting out that the Iran ambassador to Lebanon has been blinded by this, or at least has lost one eye in this. So I'm going to cover this a little bit closely. I'm going to put links to everything I referenced right here in the notes. But at this time, right now, it is true. It is confirmed that pagers and walkie-talkies are being used against Hezbollah in an apparent attack by what it sounds like, and it would be more probable than not, the Israelis. Already in response to that, Iran has put full blame on Israel, saying that they are going to counterattack appropriately and quickly. Iraq has already sent drones into Israel that have not caused any damage or killed anybody as of yet, but Iraq has started launching explosive drones into Israel. Now, what does this mean for Fox News, FAWKES News? Why do I want to present that to you? Well, I think the most bombshell news that has directly impacts you right now happened yesterday with Ron DeSantis refusing to give the Trump would-be assassin over to the FBI and calling out the FBI. And I put 4 main points from his live press conference in that video. I think it is probably one of the most important press conferences that we have had in the last 10 years, honestly. I mean, Ron DeSantis is calling out the FBI on the way that they handled the Las Vegas shooting and their non-transparency in cases like the Biden laptop and the Ashley diary and a lot of other things that the Epstein stuff that our government, the FBI, and the 3-letter agencies have not been transparent. We have not been given answers, and that Ron DeSantis believes that we, the people, deserve these answers, and so he is refusing to give Ryan, the Trump assassin, over to Ryan Ruth, over to the feds, and that Florida is going to take on the entire investigation. That is bombshell news. So, that happens. And then all of a sudden the media switches gears to this pretty extreme pager explosion, walkie-talkie explosion in Syria and Lebanon. So a lot that's going on in the media. Don't be confused. Don't be distracted. I still think the most important news this week is the Ron DeSantis. Please, if you don't have time to go watch the entire press conference, I did a 10-minute segment here on FAWKES News, where I pull the 4 big main points that are just every American should hear. And so anyway, I will be following this and whatever else breaks today on Fox News. Go to follow my long form news format content on Failure to Stop. I just did a live show over there that is mainly an audio show, but it has a pretty big YouTube subscriptions, a list of subscribers, and the live chats are always very lively and they're a lot of fun. We go live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays over there. Hopefully one day, with your help, all you Fockers out there, your help, we will be able to go live here on FAWKES News. We just need you to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. This is a brand new channel, and this is a personal project to me of trying to give you real, transparent news, less feelings, less emotions, and more facts. G.I. Joe said it the best. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle.